I gave away a golden ticket, believe it or not, yesterday. Not only did I give it away, but I gave it to somebody who asked for it. Not only did I give it away and give it to somebody who asked for it, I gave it to Rich Flores, of all people. You know that whole thing about all you have to do is ask? Well, he did, and it worked. And a lot of you were not happy about that. Done. He just has to hold on to that thing and not do anything stupid over the next 3 weeks, and he'll be fine. These tweets read like this. Yeah, Bruno Garrett 1 tweets. Jim, great win by the Blues last night. I expect with my help, I can push them over the finish line, and we will win the cup. Signed, Rich Mr. June Flores. A common thread. Flores taking credit for a lot of things that he may or may not have had anything to do with. You listen to Rich Flores, it sounds like he was responsible for winning every smack-off. All 24. And last night's Blues game. Look, the guy talks a good enough game that he talked his way in. He talked his way into a golden ticket. At Great Blue Dini, 4 tweets. Congrats to Rich Flores for scoring that amazing OT winner last night. Wow, what a shot. Email reads, hey Blues, you're welcome. Regards, Rich Flores. You might wonder who Rich Flores is if you're relatively new to the program or you just dropped in. I will explain this shortly. Dear Jim, so Bronny got 1 million Instagram followers in one day. I'm responsible for at least 900,000 of them. Signed, Rich Flores. Flores with a clean sweep of the open. Ed Wells in the 360 tweets. Who does Drake think he is? Rich Flores? Adam Hawk! All right, so going back to this Rich Flores thread, I'm looking at a tweet that he's posted. Hey, at Jim Rome, and I'm Adam Hawk. I'm excited about all the show reaction. You're welcome. Wore me and my golden ticket. And there's a picture of Flores, shirtless, tweeting that out, saying you're welcome. Going all Matt in LA with it. You know, from Rwanda to Redondo Beach. You're welcome. So Flores is now tweeting shirtless pics telling me I'm welcome. Dear Jim, can we guess on who today's player profile is on? I'll say it's smack-off legend Rich Flores. Regards, Rich Flores. Randall, WFI in the OC. Caleb in Green Bay tweets, I don't care who wins the NBA Finals, but it would be cool if jungle favorite Masai Flores earned a title. It took real stones to pull off that Kawhi trade. All right, so Rich Flores gets himself a golden ticket, and Randall assumes that he's the player profile. The Toronto Raptors make this amazing move. Actually, the Raptors didn't. Quote, Masai Flores did. Do you understand the thread? We're talking about a guy taking credit for a lot of things that he may or may not have anything to do with. But to better explain it, Adam Hawk, why don't you jump in here really quickly? A lot of people know what I'm talking about because they're tweeting about it. But if they don't, or they've got kind of a vague recollection or a small understanding, who exactly is Rich Flores?
Rich Flores is a Southern California-based clone, a longtime listener, a loyal listener, and someone who has recently become affiliated, whether it's true or not. I'm not saying whether it's true or not because, frankly, I don't know. But he has recently become affiliated, most famously with Lef and Laguna, but also, by his own admission, some other smack-off calls before that. As a pseudo, I guess you could say, producer. But this is some underground kind of clone back and forth where Rich may or may not have taken more credit than he should have for some smack-off stunts, and the clones have been letting him hear about it. I'm just reporting what I know. All
right, so in your opinion, based on what you've seen on TweetDeck, based on the emails coming in, would you say that Flores is a polarizing clone, or would you say that most people just don't like Flores?
I'm sorry to say this, but I would say that most people probably don't like Rich Flores.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying whether I like him or not. I'm saying that most people probably wouldn't.
Do you like him?
I like anyone that gives this show the attention it deserves.
What the hell kind of answer is that, Hawk?
I like
Just answer the question.
I
It's
like
a direct
loyal
question.
listeners. Yes, I like Rich.
Okay, there you go. Was that so hard?
He listens to the show. I like people that listen.
All right, so do you like a guy like that tweeting a picture shirtless, taking credit, and telling you you're welcome?
I do not like that. I'd prefer him to put his shirt on and to not take credit for anything because, as far as I'm concerned, the people that won the Smack Off won the Smack Off, and Rich Flores has never won the Smack Off. And that goes for anyone that hasn't won the Smack Off. The winners are the winners, and right now the clones are a little upset that Rich has attached himself to those winners. Now, Rich yesterday said, I have nothing to do with that, but then went on to say that he had something to do with a lot of the Smack Off calls. I don't know if he heard himself contradict himself, but that's why everyone is giving him credit for the St. Louis Blues win and the Raptors trade and all that.
Well, let me ask you this. You're right. Now, for instance, you worked with JT the Brick. JT the Brick won the first Smack Off ever 24 years ago. He parlayed that into a very, very successful radio career of his own. Did JT the Brick ever give Flores credit for helping him win that first Smack Off?
He did not. And to your point, I think there's a lone wolf mentality with the Smack Off. These guys do not like to share any credit because they work really hard on what they do. And I think it has rubbed some people the wrong way that Rich has affiliated himself with winning calls. No, JT has never given credit to anybody else. And I don't think he ever would because he is solely responsible for his own phone call.
Or maybe he will. Just like maybe I should give Flores credit for helping me get out of Santa Barbara to get to San Diego for my big break in 1990. Because without Rich Flores, I would have never made it to 690 AM and gotten my big break, right?
According to Rich, he has tweeted that exact same thing as well, or someone tweeted that to him.
Or maybe I should give Flores credit for introducing my parents to each other so they could procreate and I could pop out. The genius that I am. Thanks for that, Flores. Thanks for everything, Flores.
He would tell you that you're welcome.
All right, he did. He already did. You and me both. All right, Adam, thank you very much. That's Rich Flores. Flores is a guy who's like, no, I'm not about that life, and then takes credit for that life. So if you're wondering why people are cracking on this guy and who this guy is, and don't come around here like, yeah, man, Rome, that show's so inside. It's not inside. The show's not hard to figure out. It's a really funny show. It's a really smart show. It's a show with a different point of view. If you have any questions, just ask us. If your question was, why are they talking about that guy? Now you know. And the problem with me doing what I just did is that guy is going to rush back to Twitter, take his shirt off, and again tell me how lucky I am to know him. You're welcome. From Rwanda to Redondo Beach, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
I want to go to the phones first because this is a little bit unusual. Going back to hour number 1, too, the big thread there about the show was Rich Flores. Flores is taking a lot of credit for a lot of things, many of which he probably has nothing to do with, yet somehow he parlayed that into a golden ticket. And so now people are mocking him and complimenting him and thanking him for doing a bunch of things that he could never have done. With that in mind, this call comes from the island of Santorini in Greece. At least that's what he told Hawk. Let's find out. We go to Greece. Miles in Greece. Miles, bro, are you really calling from Greece?
Rome, I am literally standing in Santorini looking at the caldera, looking at this beautiful sunset because it's like 10 hours, ahead of where y'all are or whatever. And I want to take a minute to just thank Rich Flores for, making this volcano erupt 2,500 years ago and allowing me on this wonderful view on my honeymoon. Pretty amazing.
That is amazing. All right, Miles, you better get back to your honeymoon. I don't think the...
Hey, Rum,
yeah.
War my wife for letting me do this on my honeymoon, buddy. But listen, have a great rest of the show.
Dude, do me a favor. Tweet a picture of it so I know it's legit. Go ahead. Tweet it at me and tweet it at Hawk. Do it, Miles. All right. War your wife for letting you do that. He just said, I want to thank Rich Flores for having that volcano erupt 25,000 years ago so he could have the beautiful view that he was currently seeing on his honeymoon in the island of Santorini in Greece. Thank you, Rich Flores. Show's got some reach now. All the way to Greece. This guy was listening to the show in Greece on his honeymoon. I like it. I want to hear from Tribeca. Somebody on the island of Capri in Italy. React to me. Greece, Italy, Japan, Australia, Austria, Poway, Breckenridge, Rancho Cucamonga, Hong Kong, Dubai, all of you. Athens, do you hear me? Helsinki, is there a phone line available? Venice, damn it, get your ass in here and bring the Amalfi Coast with you. I want to hear from somebody who is not on U.S. soil. Like that guy. That's how you do it. Is there not a Raider fan in Sweden? From the great island of Santorini. Let's look for a tweet and see whether or not that's true.